Have you ever thought that a heart attack could be the reason you die? Not in a hospital, not after weeks of feeling unwell, not in the arms of a loved one, but on a perfectly ordinary morning, in the place where you feel the safest, right in your own familiar kitchen. A sharp pain strikes from your left chest. Your hand lets go of the ceramic cup. You manage 3 steps, then collapse next to the wooden chair you sit in every morning. No one knows. There was no sign the day before, and no one is there to call 911. Walter, 71 years old, lived alone after his wife passed away from cancer. One morning in early March, he collapsed while reaching into the fridge. He always thought his heart was fine. He didn't smoke, didn't drink, wasn't overweight. He survived because of one last call he managed to make. Over 85,000 Americans have a heart attack each year. Most of them never think it will come so soon. No one expects a normal morning to be the last time they ever stand up. But what helped Walter stay alive after that day was one very small change no one would have guessed. He started adding a spoonful of seeds to his breakfast. If your heart feels uneasy hearing this, that's a good sign. Because as long as you still worry, there's still a chance to change. And if you want your heart to keep beating for a few more years, leave a comment with the number 1 below this video. I want to know how many people are still here, listening to something so small, but could save their life one morning. Why does your heart feel weaker every morning? When you wake up, everything in your body is shifting states, but no organ works harder than your heart. While you're still lying in bed, the sympathetic nervous system is already activated. Cortisol, the stress hormone, rises sharply. Your blood pressure begins to climb. Your heart rate increases too. Your body needs blood to circulate faster. Your temperature is still low. Your blood vessels still constricted. The thickness of your blood, after a night without water, hasn't recovered yet. And your heart, which is no longer as strong as it was in your 30s, has to pump harder than usual just so you can sit up, walk around, or make a cup of coffee. The American Heart Association has confirmed this. The hours between 6 a.m. and 10 a.m. are when the risk of a heart attack is at its peak, not because you did anything wrong, but because after a night of sleep, your body is always in its most sensitive state. If you drink strong coffee right after waking, your cortisol spikes even more. If you eat salty food, your body retains water, raising your blood pressure even further. If you skip breakfast, your body releases adrenaline and your heart has to pump even harder. All of that happens before you even have a chance to protect your heart. And the cruelest part, most people don't realize their heart is growing weaker right at the moment they begin their day. You don't feel it, you don't hear it, but every morning, your heart loses a little strength, simply because you still think you're healthy. Why can just 1 spoonful of seeds every morning save your heart? It may sound small. 1 spoonful, 15 grams, less than 100 calories. But it can do more than you think. Not because it's magic, but because it reaches exactly where your heart has been lacking for years after silently battling salt, sugar, saturated fat, stress, and age. Inside that spoonful is a profile of nutrients that would make any cardiologist nod in agreement. Monounsaturated and polyunsaturated fats, those that lower LDL and raise HDL. Omega-3 fatty acids in the form of ALA, powerful anti-inflammatory agents. Magnesium to regulate heart rhythm and relax blood vessels. Soluble fiber to stabilize blood sugar and lipids. And a wealth of polyphenols and lignans, plant compounds that fight oxidative stress. Not all foods can soothe a heart that's been straining, but seeds can. And here's how each type works quietly, yet powerfully. Walnuts. An anti-inflammatory weapon for damaged arteries. Just 1 spoonful of walnuts in the morning can provide enough ALA, the plant-based omega-3 that reduces inflammation in the vascular lining. For older adults who often deal with chronic low-grade inflammation, this is a golden nutrient that helps prevent artery stiffening over time. According to a study published in Circulation in 2020, people who ate nuts 5 times a week reduced their risk of death from heart disease by up to 19%. And among those, walnuts played a standout role due to their ability to regulate blood lipids, lowering bad cholesterol LDL, and raising good cholesterol HDL. No bread or breakfast dish can do that with just a spoonful. Chia seeds. a steady companion for heart rhythm and blood pressure. Chia may be small, but it's smart. Once inside the intestines, it absorbs water and forms a gel, slowing glucose absorption, easing the burden on the pancreas, stabilizing insulin, and thereby preventing sudden spikes in blood sugar, a hidden strain on the heart. Additionally, chia retains water in the gut, reducing the risk of mild dehydration in the morning, a time when blood is thicker and the heart works harder to pump it to the brain. Chia is also rich in magnesium, a mineral that naturally relaxes blood vessels, gently lowering blood pressure without the fatigue caused by medication. Almonds, an antioxidant shield for your arteries. Vitamin E and polyphenols in almonds act as protective shields, guarding blood vessel walls against free radicals. When you consume too much salt or endure long-term stress, your body generates oxidative reactions, and if left unchecked, they damage the vascular lining. This damage allows cholesterol to build up and form plaque. Almonds not only protect, but also help repair, providing healthy fats that maintain arterial elasticity. A strong heart can't function well if blood flows through stiff, roughened tubes, and almonds help prevent that from happening early. Flaxseeds, a gentle regulator of lipids and heart rhythm. If you struggle to digest walnuts, flax seeds offer a lighter alternative. They're rich in ALA, but in a form that's easier to absorb when ground. Flax seeds also contain lignans, plant compounds, especially effective at reducing systemic inflammation. Numerous studies have shown flax seeds lower triglycerides, an independent risk factor for heart disease, and lignans have also been shown to positively affect estrogen levels in postmenopausal women, helping to stabilize blood pressure and reduce the risk of atrial fibrillation. Good not just for your heart, but for your gut, brain, and even your mood. Fiber in seeds feeds the beneficial bacteria in your gut, which produce up to 90% of the serotonin that regulates mood. A healthy gut means a balanced immune system, sharper memory, and a calmer, more resilient heart. The fats in seeds also help your body absorb fat-soluble vitamins like A, D, E, and K, nutrients essential for maintaining bone density, brain function, and the steady contractions of your heart muscle. That's why one spoonful of seeds, though small, is a bridge connecting multiple vital systems, all working toward one goal, keeping an aging body running smoothly after a long night's rest. The power lies in the combination, not the quantity. You don't need a lot, just one small spoonful around 15 grams. But if you combine chia, walnuts, almonds, and flax seeds thoughtfully, you create a complete blend for heart health, digestion, and the nervous system. The key is to eat it in the early morning, before anything else enters your stomach, when your stomach is still empty, and your heart is getting ready for a new day's work. That spoonful of seeds is like a soft melody, calming any disturbance that might come from food, stress, or the weather. No frying, no salted roasting, no added sugar, no excess, just whole, raw seeds, just as your heart wants to be treated, gently, timely, and without more damage. You don't need to change the whole world. You just need to change that first spoonful every morning. Common mistakes and how to eat them the right way. We've talked a lot about the remarkable power of seeds, those tiny gifts from nature, meant especially for hearts that have carried decades of weight. But that doesn't mean any spoonful of seeds, eaten at any time, in any form, will always be good. The truth is, a spoonful of seeds may be beneficial, but used the wrong way, it can quietly become a threat to your blood vessels, disrupt digestion, and even increase whole body inflammation. Mistake 1: eating salted, sweetened, or fried seeds. Many people buy seeds based on flavor: tasty, crispy, rich, without checking the ingredients. But that salty or sweet taste is a red flag. Those seeds have already been processed. Salt increases osmotic pressure in your blood vessels, causing them to constrict, which forces the heart to pump harder. Meanwhile, sugar and artificial sweeteners cause post-meal blood sugar spikes, triggering an insulin response, a cycle of strain your heart doesn't need, especially in the morning. Worse still, if seeds are fried in low-quality oils, cheap vegetable oils high in omega-6. They not only lose their original healthy fats, but also generate oxidative compounds that damage the inner lining of blood vessels. Mistake 2. Pairing seeds with sweet cereals, pastries, or condensed milk. A bowl of granola with oats, seeds, and a drizzle of honey may sound healthy, but it's often a trap loaded with added sugars. When sugar and fat enter your body together, especially in the morning, your liver prioritizes processing the sugar first. This leaves the fats more likely to be converted into triglycerides, which accumulate in your blood and the fat tissues around your heart. Some older adults have the habit of eating a few cashews with cookies or sunflower seeds with diluted condensed milk. This doesn't just cancel out the benefits of seeds, it creates a chaotic mix that the heart has to deal with, right as your body is just waking up. Mistake 3. Eating too many seeds or not chewing them well. One small spoonful is enough, but many people think, if one spoonful is good, then 3 must be better. They eat handfuls of walnuts without chewing thoroughly. But seeds are dense and high in fat, which can easily lead to bloating and indigestion, especially for those with weak stomachs or low digestive enzymes, common among people over 60. If seeds aren't properly chewed, your small intestine has to do the work, and it won't do it well. Many nutrients pass through without being absorbed, while your large intestine has to handle the undigested fiber, increasing the risk of gas and gut bacteria imbalances. Mistake 4. Eating seeds right before bed. Seeds may be small, but they're energy dense. If you eat a large portion at night, your body has to stay active to digest them. Your liver breaks down the fats, your pancreas manages insulin, and your heart, which should be resting and recovering after a long day, gets pulled into a night shift it never asked for. Moreover, some seeds contain high levels of phosphate, and eating them late can affect your heart rhythm, disrupt sleep, and alter calcium levels in your blood, especially dangerous for those with kidney issues or on heart medications. So, what's the right way to eat them? It's simpler than you think. 1 spoonful around 15 grams in the morning. Eat it before drinking strong coffee, tea, or taking medication. Chew slowly, grind thoroughly, and don't combine it with salt or sugar. If possible, soak chia or flax seeds beforehand, so they form a gel that soothes your digestive tract. You can sprinkle them over oatmeal, mix them into unsweetened plant-based milk, or simply eat them plain right after brushing your teeth, as a crisp, clean way to awaken your body at the start of the day. And most importantly, rotate weekly. Use walnuts this week, almonds next, then flax, then chia. Don't repeat the same seed for too long. Each seed offers its own unique profile, and your body needs that diversity, so it doesn't get overwhelmed by any one nutrient, but still receives the full range of benefits. Because even a good spoonful, if used the wrong way, can quietly become a harmful dose your heart never saw coming. What you need to know before you start. Not everything that's good is right for everyone. A spoonful of seeds, seemingly healthy, could act as a catalyst that speeds up complications in certain people, and sadly, most of them don't realize it until it's too late. People with kidney disease facing the burden of phosphorus and potassium. Many seeds, especially almonds, walnuts, and pumpkin seeds are high in phosphorus and potassium. For those with impaired kidney function, the ability to eliminate these minerals is reduced. When they build up, high phosphorus pulls calcium from bones, causing bone loss and itching. High potassium, meanwhile, can trigger irregular heart rhythms or even cardiac arrest in extreme cases. A study by the National Kidney Foundation found that increasing potassium by just 500 milligrams per day in chronic kidney patients can raise the risk of hospitalization from heart-related issues by 18%. 1 spoonful of walnuts or almonds already provides 200 to 250 milligrams of potassium, a number that may seem small, but is deeply concerning when accumulated daily. People taking blood thinners avoid seeds high in vitamin E. Vitamin E, an antioxidant found in almonds, sunflower seeds, and seed oils, is beneficial for blood vessels, but may increase bleeding risk when combined with anticoagulants like warfarin, aspirin, or clopidogrel. Here's why. Vitamin E inhibits platelet aggregation, making your blood less likely to clot. When combined with medication, this can lead to silent internal bleeding in the brain, digestive tract, or beneath the skin. There have been cases of undetected mini-strokes triggered by what seemed like a harmless daily spoonful of almonds. People with digestive disorders, especially IBS, ulcers, or sensitive stomachs, though small, seeds are rich in insoluble fiber, the kind that's hard to digest and may irritate the gut if not handled properly. For those with irritable bowel syndrome, IBS, or a history of ulcers, seeds can cause bloating, diarrhea, or prolonged constipation. In particular, flax and chia seeds, if eaten dry or not soaked, can absorb moisture from the intestines, leading to mild dehydration. Fatigue, or heart rhythm disturbances. This is especially dangerous if overlooked or unmanaged. People with allergies test first before eating any seeds. Seeds are among the top food groups that cause cross-allergic reactions. If you're allergic to almonds, you might also react to cashews, walnuts, or pine nuts. Reactions may be mild, like an itchy mouth or skin rash, but they can also be severe, causing anaphylaxis, trouble breathing, or a drop in blood pressure. For older adults whose immune systems are weaker and response times slower, this risk is even more serious. There have been documented cases of sudden death after eating a healthy breakfast that included unfamiliar seeds for the first time. People who are overweight, obese, or diabetic monitor the amount and timing. Even healthy seeds are calorie-dense. On average, one spoonful contains 80 to 100 calories. For those who are overweight, eating seeds along with meals high in carbs and fats can easily lead to excess energy, belly fat, and insulin resistance. Worse yet, eating seeds after dinner when insulin levels naturally dip can cause blood sugar to remain elevated overnight, disrupting heart rhythm, lowering sleep quality, and increasing silent inflammation. This risk is especially high in those with prediabetes or type 2 diabetes. So what should you do if you fall into one of the categories above? That doesn't mean you have to give up seeds entirely. It means reduce the dose to 5 to 8 grams a day instead of 15. Always choose raw, unsalted, unroasted seeds. Soak them beforehand if you have digestive issues. Eat them in the morning or early afternoon, not near your medication time or before bed. And most importantly, consult your doctor if you're taking blood thinners or being treated for kidney disease, because your heart doesn't need grand revolutions. It only needs small things, done for the right person, at the right time, in the right way. Why is it so hard for just a spoonful of seeds to become part of an elderly person's daily life? Despite how small it is, some things seem easy, but feel harder than climbing a mountain. One spoonful of seeds less than a minute to prepare, yet so many people know it's good, and still never do it. Because the problem isn't the seeds, it lies in the habits, and more deeply, in the emotions of someone living in a quiet home after the age of 65. No one wakes them up in the morning with a gentle reminder, eat your seeds, they're good for your heart. No one prepares them an intentional breakfast, and when left to do it alone, they often choose what's familiar, not what's right. A slice of toast, a cup of coffee, another morning that passes in silence. That simplicity is sometimes a quiet surrender, not a healthy choice. Behavior is driven by emotion, especially the emotion of emptiness. Many studies in behavioral psychology show that people who live alone after 60 tend to neglect preventive habits because they don't see an immediate reward. Eating a spoonful of seeds doesn't make you feel less lonely. It doesn't light up the house. No one praises you, no one notices, and so it gets left behind. Behavioral science. Without positive feedback, habits die. When there's no response, no reward, the brain doesn't register it as a habit worth keeping. Meanwhile, eating something familiar, even if it's not healthy, feels safe and predictable, especially in older adults. The part of the brain responsible for behavioral flexibility weakens. Forming a new habit requires twice the effort, if not more, without some external motivation. The problem is not the seeds. It's the world around the person. You could hand them a whole bag of walnuts, a chart of omega-3 benefits, even a doctor's advice. But if they still eat alone, live alone, and no one checks in, then seeds remain just a suggestion, never a routine. So the solution lies not just in nutrition, but in connection. Want your parents to have a spoonful of seeds every morning. Don't just leave a bag of seeds in the kitchen. Eat with them, even if it's just a few times a week. Call and ask, "Did you have your seeds today?" Share a photo of your breakfast. Invite them to send one back, even if it's a little blurry, even if their hands tremble. The presence of another person is the enzyme that helps a spoonful of seeds turn into a real habit, like sunlight keeping a fragile sprout from withering away in the cold. Habits, no matter how small, only survive when they're nurtured by emotion. You can't force an elderly person to change with logic alone. You can only reach them through feeling that they're still cared for, that their actions still matter, and that this tiny spoonful each morning is something they do for themselves, but also a way to stay longer with those who still love them. After all, it's not about the spoonful of seeds. It's about the spoonful of intention. You've just walked through a long journey just to talk about one spoonful of seeds each morning. It may sound small, but if you're still here reading this, perhaps you already understand. This isn't just a spoonful of nutrition. It's a spoonful of choice, a decision to live one more day with a heart stronger than it was yesterday. Because your heart doesn't grow healthier through milestones. It isn't revived only by surgery. It survives through the tiny things you do every single day. One spoonful of seeds won't make you live forever. But without it, you might lose one vital link in your chain of prevention. If your morning begins with something kind to your heart, you're more likely to make healthy choices throughout the day. If you spend 30 seconds choosing raw seeds over a fried pastry, you're sending a signal to your brain that says, "I still care about this heart." And you know what? That's all your heart ever wanted. Not perfection, just your presence. Just that you haven't given up. Not everyone changes their life after watching one video. But if today you poured a spoonful of seeds into your yogurt instead of skipping breakfast, if you left the bag of seeds somewhere visible, like a quiet reminder that you still love yourself, if you shared this video with someone living alone after 60, then maybe you've already planted a chance at life for a heart out there that's been quietly struggling. If you're still with me here, thank you, not just for listening, but because you've just told your own heart that it still deserves to be loved. Don't forget to leave a comment with the number 2. If you're still here, I want to know how many people are still willing to begin with just one small spoonful